Imagine a nation at war with a ruthless insurgency, its citizens desperate for safety, and its military in dire need of resources. Now, imagine the funds meant to protect that nation being siphoned off in one of the most audacious corruption scandals in its history. This is the story of Colonel Sambo Dasuki and the $2.1 billion arms procurement scandal that shook Nigeria to its core. In this episode of the History of Corruption in Nigeria, an installment in the short history series brought to you by Sahara reporters, you are going to discover shocking depths about how funds intended to bolster Nigeria's fight against Boko Haram were diverted into private pockets, leaving a nation vulnerable and betrayed. At a period when Boko Haram militants in northeast Nigeria controlled an area the size of Belgium, thousands of Nigerian civilians were dying, and many soldiers were so outgunned, they fled. According to one active-duty Nigerian soldier who got shot through the knee, he and his men were so short of resources that their weapons didn't have bullets. Their trucks didn't have gas. "We had so many casualties," the soldier says, "and our commanders came out categorically telling us that they do not have money. No fuel, no money, and almost no ability to fight Boko Haram." This was the period where Dasuki served as National Security Advisor to the Nigerian president. Dasuki, the infamous colonel who allegedly stole more than $2 billion from the Nigerian military when he was supposed to be supplying it with weapons. Sambo Dasuki, born on December 2, 1954, hails from a royal lineage. His father, Ibrahim Dasuki, was the 18th Sultan of Sokoto. Educated and well-connected, Sambo Dasuki's journey to power was paved with influence and ambition. He enlisted in the Nigerian Defense Academy in 1972, and by 1974, he received his commission and quickly climbed the ranks, becoming a major and military assistant to General Mohammed Inuwa Wushishi by 1983. Dasuki's career saw him involved in the coup that brought General Muhammadu Buhari to power, and by 1985, Dasuki had switched allegiances, aiding in the coup that overthrew Buhari, which led to his appointment as Director of Military Intelligence under General Ibrahim Babangida. However, disagreements soon followed, causing them to have public feuds due to political differences, in which he later had disagreements with the then Chief of Army Staff, General Sani Abacha, who after becoming military head of state in 1993 retired him from the army on the accusation that he was one of the masterminds of a coup. Dasuki left for the United States soon after. In 2001, he returned home, and by 2012, he was appointed as the National Security Advisor by President Goodluck Jonathan, the administration, an appointment which would become the foundation for one of the most talked about Nigerian scandals, Dasuki-Gate. To understand the gravity of Dasuki-Gate, we must first understand the threat posed by Boko Haram. Founded in 2002, Boko Haram initially sought to establish an Islamic State in Nigeria. By 2009, the group had turned violent, leading to a brutal insurgency primarily in the northeast. Boko Haram's attacks included bombings, assassinations, and kidnappings, displacing millions and claiming thousands of lives, creating an urgent need for a well-equipped military response. After 276 schoolgirls were kidnapped in Chibok by Boko Haram in April 2014, the following month, Marion Ford, an American living in Prague, was approached about procuring arms for the Nigerian army to fight the Islamic insurgent group. At that time, Ford did not have the necessary licenses to trade in arms, so he signed an agency agreement with and negotiated for arms dealer Ara Dolarian and his company DCI, based out of Fresno, California, and Sofia, Bulgaria. But it turned out that Dolarian's company did not have the compulsory international arms deal brokering licenses required. Dasuki, being the main man at the heart of Nigeria's security apparatus, had a crucial position in which he was responsible for coordinating the nation's defense strategies and ensuring the military was well equipped to combat the insurgents. However, it was later discovered that out of over $2.2 billion, which was disbursed for the procurement of ammunition to tackle insurgency, only very little was spent for the procurement of the arms. The scandal began to unravel in 2015 when President Buhari's administration launched an investigation into the alleged misappropriation of funds. Dasuki was accused of awarding false contracts for the purchase of 12 helicopters, for fighter jets, and ammunition. The funds, which were meant to bolster Nigeria's military campaign against Boko Haram, were allegedly diverted into private accounts, and as discovered by the Arms Procurement Investigative Committee, which was inaugurated in August 2015, out of the 513 contracts awarded at $8.3 billion, 2.1 trillion naira, and 54,000 euros. About 53 were failed contracts amounting to about $2.3 billion and 13.7 trillion Nigerian naira, respectively. What humongous monstrosity of a crime! The amount of foreign currency spent on failed contracts was more than twice the $1 billion loan approved by the National Assembly for borrowing from the World Bank to fight insurgencies. The investigative committee also discovered a total transfer of 3.850 billion Nigerian nairas to a single company by Colonel Dasuki, the former National Security Advisor. These transactions were made with neither agreements nor the fulfillment of tax obligations to the federal government of Nigeria. The diverted funds were traced to various expenditures, including luxury properties in Abuja, Lagos, and Dubai. Some funds were funneled into foreign bank accounts, while significant amounts were used to finance political campaigns, particularly the 2015 re-election bid of the ruling party. This misuse of public funds not only exemplified gross corruption but also highlighted the extent to which national security was compromised for personal gain. The diversion of these funds had huge consequences for Nigeria's fight against Boko Haram. Reports indicated that soldiers were often sent to the front lines with insufficient ammunition, outdated weapons, and inadequate protective gear. In some instances, troops had to buy their own uniforms and food.
Because you're not issued the kits, you buy the kits yourself. You have to buy the uniform yourself. You buy them.
The lack of resources led to several failed operations, allowing Boko Haram to strengthen its grip on the northeast and carry out devastating attacks with impunity whilst the international community stood watching with concern to the Dasuki-Gate revelations. The United States, United Kingdom, and Europe expressed dismay at the level of corruption, urging Nigeria to strengthen its anti-corruption measures, while donor countries and organizations demanded greater transparency and accountability. Despite numerous court orders for his release on bail, Dasuki remained in detention for several years. His prolonged detention sparked debates about human rights and the rule of law in Nigeria. In 2019, following an order by the Attorney General of the Federation, Dasuki was finally released on bail. However, 7 years after his first arrest, he was again rearraigned by the federal government of Nigeria on Monday the 23rd of May, 2022 on allegations of breach of trust and criminal misappropriation of public funds amounting to 388 billion naira funds meant for Nigeria's security and development. As we continue to uncover the layers of this scandal, one question remains: will Nigeria ever overcome the culture of corruption that allows such scandals to flourish, or will the cycle of corruption continue to undermine our nation's progress? Thanks for watching this episode. If you found this episode shocking, you won't believe the outrageous claims involving animals in our other episode titled Jungle Book of Corruption: Nigeria's Money-Eating Animals. Check it out now to see how snakes, monkeys, and even termites have been blamed for missing millions. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because